Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, started off George Lucas's prequel trilogy being very hyped up by fans for continuing the Star Wars legacy after the original trilogy. This will be the first movie review, part of our brand new Star Wars movie review marathon in preparation for Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. So, with this hype, there were certainly high expectations withheld. Keep in mind that, yes, I am reviewing this for the time in which it was released, and yes, spoilers will certainly be included. The high expectation kind of got buzzkilled, and George Lucas produced somewhat of a disappointment at the time. The main problem was that this just wasn't the type of Star Wars that people would expect to be the same as the original trilogy. Too much made it unfamiliar, from all the horrible comedy, change in poor quality special effects, and less likable characters. This therefore certainly came as a major downgrade from the Star Wars we all knew and loved. On top of that, this movie was flat out boring. Though discussions of negotiations and trade and whatnot were necessary for the plot, it certainly became a takeaway from the film's overall experience and quality. The best thing for familiarity was John Williams' brilliant score for the movie. All of the sounds of this movie were properly set in place, but the overall feel was just too off. Enough comparing it to the original Star Wars, but rather just to show itself as a bad movie in general. There are several negative aspects. The comic relief was god-awful and so unnecessary. It just made the movie that had the capability of a serious tone feel very dumbed down. More specifically, Jar Jar Binks can easily be given credit for half of the hate towards the movie at least. His stupidity was aggressively aggravating. Aside from that, there was a lot of unnecessary elements in the film, from getting chased by multiple fish to an over-elaborate plan to fixing a ship. The way that you watch the movie almost comes across as kinda cringe. The acting was very poor at times, and therefore lots of dialogue was poorly handled. The different characters were kind of ruined by that. There were not too many likable characters aside from Qui-Gon, probably Padme, and maybe Obi-Wan. Additionally, seeing this movie made as a prequel to the original trilogy, there were very little surprises. The characters that were familiar were introduced in the most blatant ways. In addition to seeing familiar characters meet other familiar characters like Obi-Wan and Anakin, or C-3PO and R2-D2, but we all already had it handed to us that Chancellor Palpatine was secretly the Emperor, or Anakin was obviously going to become Darth Vader. This could certainly be a takeaway for the time, but the movie was still made in the way that it should have been, which for the most part pretended that we knew nothing. The film still did offer a lot of great stuff though, for sure. The pod race, as unnecessary as it was entertaining to watch, and obviously the finale of this film, it was where things really got good. Maybe it's because all of the action beforehand was just Jedi cutting through the battle droids like butter or just pushing them over, but the action got good. And for sure, the Duel of Fates was phenomenal, being a very well done lightsaber duel. Overall, the general concepts of the adventure that was taken in the movie, and all that it had to introduce into the Star Wars universe, has by now been accepted enough to be well appreciated. Therefore, the movie was possibly worse for its time, and might be considered better nowadays. You know, still ignoring Jar Jar Binks ruining the entire experience. Seriously though, they attempted to introduce his character with possible sympathy, and gave him an arc by saying how he was banished for being clumsy, but when he returned facing his fears and embarrassed, he later learned that his clumsiness helped by pure chance in combat. Alright, and now, I absolutely hate Jar Jar Binks. Okay, so that all being said, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next review, part of our new movie review marathon coming real soon. Bye-bye.